Hello comrades, my name is Fritz and welcome back to F1 Challenge 99-02 and welcome to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're riding here with Alessandro Zanardi in the Williams Formula 1 car, ready to begin qualifying. And one of the Ferraris has just gone out, so we won't be encountering a perfectly clear track, but we shall make the best of what we have. Now I must confess this video is going to be a little bit tricky for me because, well, I am slightly hungover, I will be honest. I had a bit too much to drink the night before. Quite a lot of wine, some beer, and Prosecco, which wasn't great. I drink like a single mother, I know. But I didn't feel a thing for quite a while, and then it wore off and everything was a bit terrible. But yes, we're going to try our best, and I've got some coffee here with me. And, oh god, no. Just to alleviate the kind of the symptoms, maybe the hair of the dog that bit you. If I just down a shot of whiskey, then it'll all go away, but nonetheless we're going to try our best and trying to fall off the track again. Now the Hungaroring, the Hungarian Grand Prix was first hosted in 1936, not at this circuit, at a circuit the name of the venue escapes me, and it's also incredibly fiendish to pronounce. But due to numerous bouts of power play, corruption and lies, it was over 50 years until the Hungarian Grand Prix returned to the Formula 1 FIA calendar. In 1986 it became the first Formula 1 Grand Prix to be held behind the Iron Curtain, as I think we've lost our rear wing. No, we're fine. In 1986 this 2.7 mile, very treacherous, dusty, twisty track has seen spectacular racing over the years, and it only saw its first wet race in 2006, which Schumacher crashed out of, allowing Button to claim his first victory in Formula 1 for the BAR Honda racing team. I watched that race and I remember it very well. It was quite exciting at the time. Anyway, yes, we're going to start our first flying lap, and then we're going to see where that gets us. I did have a previous go at qualifying, actually. I tried recording before, unfortunately the file got corrupted, so I had to revert the save on the F1 game. We did only qualify 17th, but that's because the conditions were a little bit treacherous, and well, I hadn't quite got my eye in with the circuit just yet. But hopefully we do a little bit better on this fine day as we go a bit wide. Once again, I'm going to keep it on the straight and narrow, not spinning it this time. That's fine. My aim for qualifying is to break into the top 10 because this isn't a circuit that I'm very strong at. It's a very tricky circuit, relentless corner after corner action on this back part of the circuit. Lewis Hamilton has the most wins of any driver here with 5, and indeed McLaren have the most wins of any constructor with 11. And yeah, it's very difficult to overtake here, so majority of the races are tend to be won from pole position, the top spot on the grid. So if we can get as close to that as possible, then that would be ideal. We do have quite a good run into turn 1. Although it's very short, it does mean that the effects of a bad start will be kind of cancelled out. And then we can just run it up the inside on the brakes gently and then see how many positions we can gain. We've got 5 laps of fuel in the car, and we've just gone 9 seconds slower than Michael Schumacher, so this might end up being a bit of a disaster indeed. Then again, we did come off a few times, so hopefully we can improve on this particular grid position. It does say we're 4th at the moment, but I doubt that's going to last long, and as we get that very badly wrong, and I'm afraid that looks like it's damaged our suspension. So that is qualifying over for us. That is bitterly disappointing. That is a massive cock. Look at that, I think we just get on the curb and everything. Let's watch that again, let's see what happens. Yeah, we just run over the edge, we take a bit too much speed, the back end just spins out of line and whack. Yeah, that is undoubtedly a broken rear end there. That's a shame, but we have some work to do in the race, and yeah, we can still make up some places nonetheless. As long as we beat our teammate, it's okay. So I'll see you at the race. Here we are now, ready to begin the 1999 Hungarian Grand Prix. We qualified, well, second to last overall, and we do really have a point to prove this weekend, so we only managed to actually out-qualify Luca Badoa, who was, at best, I'd say, a mediocre driver. There have been worse, I admit, but yes, we don't have time for this grid walk, we have a point to prove, so let's get over to the grid, let's roll forward a little bit. They like to ram us at the start, this AI, and lights out, away we go. That was a slightly long hold and I was caught unawares. Badoa goes soaring by. We can make up the position once again. Everyone starts to brake check up into turn 1. Let's try and break into the top 10. That's Giancarlo Fisichella up into 13th place. Olivier Parnis, that's Alexander Wirtz, sorry, not Giancarlo Fisichella. Can we get past the Sauber? Sauber drinking to the left, that's a bit dangerous. Probably forgive him for that, we weren't quite within attacking distance. Up the hill towards turn 3. This, I believe, is where Felipe Massa actually had that horrific accident in 2009. When a spring fell off Jenson Button's Braun GP car and hit him on the head, allowing him to crash into those tyre barriers on the other side of that Armco there. We've got to run into the chicane, we've got a lost front wing. That's the Ferrari going to be struggling for performance now. We have a good opportunity here. This is Heinz Harald Frentzen. There's Ferrari. That's Eddie Irvine. Up into 9th place already, and it's only lap 1. Jacques Villeneuve in the I think it's the footwork team, I can't remember. It's the one with 2 colour schemes. They couldn't run 2 cars with non-identical colour schemes, so they split both liveries down the middle and then just added a kind of zip effect down the middle of the car, which produced quite an interesting livery overall. 2.1 seconds, the gap to Villeneuve. Can we make 8th place? Let's find out. Going very wide off into turn 1. Minus 4 seconds is Villeneuve. That was a disastrous corner. We lost 2 whole seconds. That is a bag of time there. Braking late into turn 1. Once again going wide. This car is suffering from catastrophic understeer this weekend. It's a 7-lap race. Very short circuit indeed. And we've got 7 laps of this terrible, terrible understeer to contend with. 4.3 seconds. Can we close the gap to Villeneuve by the end of the race? There he is, scooting away up the top of the hill. Little bit wide, and that's gone a bit wrong already. And Frentzen in the Jordan. We had a bit of trouble with him in Britain, Silverstone. And yeah, hopefully he's not going to pose too much of an issue. Getting this braking very late for the chicane. Let's just cut the corner because we don't want to risk spinning out. Losing more time through this S-curve section. This weekend is turning out to be a bit of a disaster. We haven't really had such a disastrous weekend for a while, with the exception of that of Austria, in which we came off the track and actually physically DNF'd. We damaged our suspension. So yeah, that's not gone too well. Can we close the gap to Frentzen under braking? Yes, we can. That's 1.3 seconds, the gap to Frentzen. Once again, going very wide into the final corner. Let's keep the nose tucked in. There we go, 1.3. The gap stayed just about level, so we didn't lose anywhere near as much time as we did to Villeneuve on that previous lap. Braking conservatively into turn 1. And find the grip. The car just refuses to stay stuck into the apex of the corner. There are the skid marks from qualifying, where we went off quite spectacularly there. 1.9 seconds the gap to Frentzen. We are really not closing this gap at all. Well, our goal of breaking into the top 10 has been achieved, although I would quite like to actually get 9th place, which we would have done if we hadn't spun off up at the top of the hill there, braking into the chicane, getting that correct this time, just about. Whoa, bouncing over the curbs, that could have been another catastrophic mistake. Very tricky, that chicane. The curbs are evil, absolutely evil. And to be honest, I think I'm doing quite well today, considering that I'm a little bit groggy after my night out. And heading into this final chicane. Very weird chicane this. You want to go fast, but you can't because there's a kind of big humpback curb in the way. So you just have to kind of cut your losses and hope for the best. And try not to really bite off more than you can chew. Actually, on the day of recording, it is the Austrian Grand Prix, so Lewis Hamilton qualified 8th after a 5-place grid penalty following a gearbox change. Hopefully he can capitalise on that. Good news, Valtteri Bottas, his Mercedes teammate, is in pole position, followed by Sebastian Vettel and I believe Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, an exciting race to be had by all. Hopefully Lewis Hamilton can gain those positions that he should rightfully have had back in qualifying. Now I do disagree with the gearbox change penalty rules, not just because it's Lewis Hamilton, and that I think this should be applied across all drivers. I don't think the teams should be punished for changing gearboxes. I mean, if you're changing gearboxes, it does show that you are pushing the machinery to the limit, and of course in Formula 1 that is exactly what all the fans want to see. Oh god, that's a bit of a disaster. I really don't think it's necessary to punish the driver. He has not had any part in that whatsoever. And yes, it's mechanical fatigue. It happens. That's the whole point of motor racing. Parts do fail, and that's what makes it exciting. As we head into this final chicane, Alexander Wirtz has closed the gap for about 3 seconds. We look like we might be having a bit of a challenge on our hands as we come into the closing stages of the Hungarian Grand Prix here. Getting turn... I don't know what turn number this is. The final corner, getting a little bit better this time. Alexander Wirtz still challenging for position. We cannot afford to make any mistakes into these final couple of laps here. I'm not entirely sure what I have to do to really improve my speed around this circuit. I simply cannot break the 130s. I don't know how the AI tend to do it, but here we are trying to fend off Alexander Wirtz. We kind of have a queue behind us at the moment. Breaking into turn 4. Yeah, it is turn 4. That little kink is at the top of the hill is counted as turn 3 before we go into the big undulating dip in the land and then head up the hill to turn 4. Very tricky circuit in real life. It's often very dusty due to not getting much motorsport action. And Alexander Wirtz sailing round the outside. That's caused us to drop out of the top 10. Can we catch Wirtz once again? I do not believe we can. The understeer is just too catastrophic in this car. We can beat the Ferrari of Eddie Irvine. That's a top constructor under our belt. Jean Alesi, a Frenchman, only, I believe, 1 win in Formula 1. There's a yellow flag up ahead. Has someone retired, or has someone gone into the pits for repairs? We're about to find out, I guess. Maybe it might be the case. It doesn't look like it. I think there might have just been a bit of a spinner up at Sector 1 here. Although, yes, that was a little bit unfortunate. No places to be gained from reliability issues or other AI drivers dropping out. The beauty of F1 Challenge is that the AI drivers do actually make mistakes, and we do crash into each other, and mechanical failures do happen, as we've seen in several races this season. Hakkinen has suffered quite badly from mechanical failures this season, and we've got a yellow flag up ahead. I don't know what that's all about. And yes, we're into 10th place. That somebody must have dropped out. They must have been struggling along with a blown engine until it finally gave up the ghost. But that means we have a bit of a saving grace here. It's imperative that we don't let Alesi past. Learning our lesson from the previous lap, covering that outside line, making sure the Sauber can't squeeze past the Williams. And Alesi goes for a dive. It's not quite enough. We're going to brake check him up into this chicane. Use all of the runoff there as we conclude the penultimate lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. That was the car that didn't make it round, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what happened to the yellow flag situation. I think the timings didn't quite reset themselves as we came over the line. Alesi challenging. We've gone very wide over the final corner. That was lucky we didn't spin there. Braking early, making sure we cover him off. Very wide, we're going fast in, slow out. That's the opposite, the complete opposite of what we want to do. Just over a lap of fuel left. We've only got about 3/4 of a lap to go, so that's fine. Doing well fuel-wise, tyres holding up quite well. There's a bit of a hairy voice crack there. The Prost car challenging for position with Alesi. We're really backing up Alesi into whoever it is driving the Prost. I'm not entirely sure. Up to the chicane, we have the edge under braking over the AI. We've always had the edge under braking over the AI, bouncing over the curbs. Don't spin the car now. We've got the pit lane indicator on at the moment. A Lacey is going to go through on the outside. Yep, no, that's a total disaster. We're actually within attacking distance there, so we can try at this corner. Stay within touching distance. Keep cool, it's not over until the fat lady sings. I'm just gonna cut this corner because I can't be bothered. Right, bouncing over the curb, the Lacey. Not quite within range here. The Prost car on the outside, we've gone very wide into the final corner. Is Olivier Panis going to go for the cutback? No, well, he tried to, but he's not quite within range. And there it is, the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Not a successful race on the whole. However, we did improve on our qualifying slot. A silly mistake from me in qualifying meant that we actually ended up crashing into the wall and breaking our suspension, which was a bit of a shame, but yeah, I don't think we would have been able to improve too much on our qualifying time. But yeah, a relentless, intense race there at the Hungaroring, and Ralf Schumacher, our teammate, vastly superior to us this weekend, so hopefully we can improve on that next time out on F1 Challenge. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you for the next race.